Welcome to yoga. Today we're going to talk about the elements in nature which are reflected in us and how they're expressed during asana practice. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. And you will need 2 blocks and if you have a wall, there's an option to use that too, but you don't need the wall. So let's start seated. We're going to do our centering today from a seated foundation. So foundation is one of the, represents the element of earth, grounding down. So we're gonna start in our seat. So you can have your legs crossed or straight. It might help to sit up on a blanket or even a block. So just find a place where you can find a comfortable seat. This pose actually with crossed legs is Sukhasana. It's easy pose. And close your eyes. Find a comfortable place to rest your hands on somewhere on your legs. Close your eyes. Begin to bring your awareness inside. And just scan your body, noticing especially what parts are in contact with the mat, the ground, or the blanket. And let your body just feel that support and sink down, ground down into that foundation. Lift up through the crown of your head, root and rise. Straight spine. So that's alignment, which is also part of the earth element. And then relax your face, your jaw, your neck. Let your shoulders just sink down from your ears, so you're rising gently through the crown of your head. Shoulders down from your ears. Feel where your hands and arms are resting, supported by where they are in your legs. Scan your body. Notice in this posture of sitting how everything feels. You've got a lot of flexion going on here. Remember to notice without judgment, just accepting everything just as it is right in this moment. And having compassion for any areas that are going to need extra attention during your practice. Listening to your body as your first teacher. And notice your breath. Bring your attention to your breath. This is the expression of the element of air. In yoga, working with the breath is called pranayama. We're going to use the method of Ujjayi breathing, which is just a gentle narrowing of the glottis as if you were blowing on your hand on the exhale, but your mouth is closed. So it makes a slight whisper sound just in your head that only you can hear. Very gentle. An Ujjayi breath is warming, a warming breath. And it's a nice tool to use to lengthen, deepen, balance out your breathing, so you have more control over the breath. So please begin Ujjayi breathing and begin to lengthen, deepen, and even out your breath. If for any reason breathing this way is causing you anxiety or creating tension, then don't do it. Just begin to deepen and even and lengthen out your breath in your own way. Now place a hand on your belly and the other hand on your chest. And we've done this practicing belly breath. So now we're going to do a different kind of breathing, still using Ujjayi if you've started that and are continuing it. But the next time you come to the end of your exhale, lightly tone your low belly. So not gripping, very light tone. This is engaging Mula Bandha, which is an energy lock. It's very subtle. What's happening in your body when you do this is you're lifting your pelvic floor, that area that's between your legs on the ground. So on the exhale, engage Mula Bandha, very light toning of the low belly, and hold that tone in place. And on the inhale, notice the rise of your rib cage and hold that in place as you exhale. So continue to breathe slow, deep, even, holding a light tone in your low belly and the lift of the rib cage, which is Uddiyana Bandha. So the reason I ask you to put your hands on your belly and your chest is with this type of breathing, with the bandhas in place, your belly and your chest are going to remain still throughout the inhale and exhale. So what you're doing here is creating a nice, long, empty space. Container for the lungs to expand and fill up. And it's very subtle. It's new. So just give it your best shot, holding that light tone in the low belly, as well as the lift of the rib cage. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And you can lower your chin a little bit towards your chest, and that's the third bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. And this represents the element of fire, energy, heat in the body. And then take your hands away, lift your chin, release the bandhas, and just take a few more breaths. Slow, deep, even breaths. Feeling your body move with the breath. And then bring your hands, palms together at your heart space. Take a few moments to create an intention for your practice. And then we're going to begin practice standing up. So rock forward And then either come up through downward facing dog or through a squat if that's your way. Best way for you. Come all the way up into standing, and we will create our mountain pose. So this is an opportunity to go to the wall, which is helpful in making sure you have the right alignment. If you don't have a wall, that's fine. So begin at your base, foundation, both feet on the floor, lift and spread your toes. This is press down into all the corners of the feet. That's Pada Bandha. Press down, feel your kneecaps come up, lightly hug the muscles of the legs to the bone, lightly, no clenching. Lift the ribs away from your pelvis, so lift long side waist. Roll your shoulder blades back, external rotation, open the chest, open your arms. Spread your fingers, Pada Bandha. That activates the arms. Chin, come back a little bit. You want the bottom of your chin to be parallel to the floor. And then lift up through the crown of your head. And when you've got that alignment, if you can close your eyes and keep the balance, do so. That helps you to bring your awareness inside. And just release any effort not needed to keep the alignment and stability of mountain pose. Make sure your face and jaw, neck are relaxed, shoulders relaxed down from your ears, but you're still rooting down through your feet, through your foundation, and lifting up through the crown of your head. Rooting down, lifting up, opposite actions. Breath is slow, deep, and even. And then let your eyes open, and just a few times, start with your arms down by your sides and externally rotate your shoulders. So bring your palms open and out to the side. That's external rotation, broad chest, narrow back. And then internally rotate, turn the backs of your hands toward your body. Notice here the back is broad, the chest is narrow. So a couple times. Open your chest, external rotation, internal rotation, just the opposite. One more time. Now interlace your fingers behind your head, and we'll do that same sort of action, bringing some abduction and adduction into it. So inhale, bring your elbows back, chest is open, back is narrow. Exhale, chin to chest, elbows together in front. Couple more times. Inhale, open, little extension in your back. Exhale, a little flexion. So a mini cat-cow involving the upper spine. You can lift your chin if that agrees. On the inhale, tuck your chin on the exhale. And the next time you come with your elbows in front, release that. Let your hands come down to the side. And we'll do a few rounds of half sun salutation with chair pose. So reestablish your foundation. Broaden your finger base. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, tilt your tailbone up. Swan dive forward, forward bend. Bend your knees if you need to. And then as you inhale, first set your hips back, and then Continue inhaling, arms up to frame your ears, finger braces are spread all the way up, and exhale around to Anjali Mudra. So do a few more of those in time to your own breath. Vinyasa, that's the water element. The qualities of water are flow, smooth, moving around obstacles. Moving with the breath represents the water element in our yoga practice. And the next time you come to your forward fold, pause there, step your feet back into down dog, and on an inhale, bring your knees to the mat. So you come into an all four foundation, come into tabletop. Have your blocks on either side of the front edge of your mat. We'll get to those in a little bit. So, foundation here, spread your fingers, Pada Bandhas, press your hands into the mat. You're on the tops of your feet, so press the lower part of your legs into the mat, your arms into the mat, and begin cat-cow. So gentle at first, start gently moving into the vinyasa of cat-cow and move with your breath. Flow slowly. Let your breath initiate the movement and stay with the movement all the way through, not just the last point. Stay with all the points along the journey. And the next time you come into cat pose with a rounded back, let your hips go all the way back over your heels, but not to stay. And then inhale back up. Next, exhale, tuck your toes, bring your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Okay, earth salutation. Each inhale is tabletop or all fours or cat, if you want to make it that. Exhale alternates between child's pose and downward facing dog. So moving with the breath, feeling your groundedness into the earth, the mat. And the next time you come to a downward facing dog, pause there. Pedal your feet out a little bit. Press down evenly between your hands and your heels. Press your heels toward the mat. Externally rotate your round your shoulders out a little bit, internally rotate, to counteract the tendency to sag in the back. Chest is moving toward your thighs. Neck is soft. You can shake your head yes and no. And on an inhale, take your right leg up and back, way up. Point your toe toward the sky. Well, you don't have to point your toe, but leg up. If you'd like to take a rotation, you can bend your knee and turn to look under your right arm. And then let the right leg come down. On an inhale, take your left leg up and back. And again, if you want to bend that leg and take a look under your left arm, feel free. So lengthen up and out, extension of your hip. And then bring the left leg down, come to, set your blocks a little bit ahead of you on the mat. Come to stand on your knees. We're gonna come into a low lunge using the blocks to just get a little more out of it. If your knees are sensitive here, it can really help to have a blanket under your knee. So from standing on the knees, we're going to take the right foot forward. Rest your hands in the block and then slide the left knee back. So you want the left knee to be behind your left hip. The right knee directly over the right ankle. So find where that is for you and just take a few breaths, inhaling, lift up, nice long spine, straight spine, and then exhale. See if you can find a little more opening in your left hip. You can stay right here, or you can bring your hands to your knee, right knee, and or lift up. So your choice of arm position and spine position in low lunge. But the blocks lifting up can really give you a little more freedom in this pose. And find your place to take a few more slow, deep, even breaths. Opening the hip, bringing as much of a back bend into it as your body wants today. And then inhale, come back, bring your left knee back. Stand up again on both knees, and we'll do low lunge on the other side. So left foot goes forward. Slide your right knee back. You don't want to be standing up on your right knee. You want that knee to be back behind the hip. Left ankle over left foot. So you're pressing, you can be on the ball of your right foot, or your right foot can be, you can rest on the top of it. I have sensitive knees, so the blanket makes this much more accessible for me. So make any modifications that make it accessible for you. Close your eyes if you can. That will help you to stay with your sensation. Notice where the stretch is occurring. Notice where you're using strength, pressing down into the left foot on this side and also on the right. And then come back, bring that left knee back. And let your hips go back, come into child's pose. Again, a blanket under your hips can feel good, behind your knees, resting your head on a block. So find a place where you can just sink down right into the mat, just to recover a little bit. Return to your breath, slow, deep, even breath. Just sink. And then come back to all fours. Tuck your toes back up into down dog. Walk your feet up to your hands and come to the front edge of your mat in a forward bend. So
Let's just stay in Uttanasana, forward bend, for a few breaths. Bend your knees as much as you want. You can have your whole chest on your thighs. You can start there and then gradually straighten your legs as long as you can keep your chest on your thighs. You can hold opposite elbows. You can clasp your hands, arms behind your legs. Just let your upper body release. Lower back, release. And then inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, long back, all the way up, and hands down. Come back to mountain pose. So just take a little time in mountain pose to reconnect with your breath. Feel any energy that you've generated moving around in there. Relax your face, jaw, neck. Nice, slow, deep, even breath. And then open your eyes, and we're going to try some balance. And the balance today is going to be your choice of a one leg balance. So some options are tree pose, or just one leg lifted. You could grasp one leg behind your back, anything you want. So the earth element, the natural element that's expressed here is space, which is drishti, the focus, the stillness. So make sure that you have a soft gaze on something that's not moving. And we will start by letting the weight come into our right foot. So come up onto your left toes. Foundation here is going to be the right foot. So you're going to root down through that foot, making sure your right hip doesn't come out. So firm up the side of your right hip. Your choice of hands. And then come into whichever one-legged, do anything you want with your left leg that gets it off the ground. Or you can stay on your toes too. That's still balancing. So as long as the weight is mostly in the right leg. Soft gaze. Perhaps a smile. That can help to get the right attitude. If you feel stable wherever you are, you can increase the challenge by moving your arms, moving your leg, closing your eyes. But whatever you do, keep your gaze. If your eyes are closed, the gaze is inside. And stay with your breath. If you come out of a pose, just take a breath and build it back up slowly. Okay, now as you come out with as much control and mindfulness as you went into the pose. Pedal your feet, take any kind of movement, Tai Chi twist, anything that kind of shakes out the tension. And we'll try the other side. So weight into the left foot, up on your right toes. This side does not have to be the same. Let your gaze and one-legged balance on the left foot. Very nice. Now come out. I can't really see you, but I'm sure you're doing a very nice job. So come on out of that, and then turn to face the long edge of your mat, and step your feet wide apart. Feet are parallel, toes point forward. Hands on your hips, so root down through your feet and up through your spine. And on an inhale, hinge forward at your hips. Come forward with a flat back. Here's a place where you could have a block to rest your hands. You might want to walk your feet a little bit further out here. And when you've gotten as much hip flexion, forward flexion as you can, then you can round down the rest of the way, let your head hang. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward bend. Press down into especially the inner edges of your feet to counteract the tendency for the legs to roll out. And then you can inhale and walk your hands over toward your right foot, bringing your chest toward the right thigh. Notice where you feel a stretch here. And then bring your hands back to center. And on the next inhale, walk your hands over toward the left. If you want to open it up even more, you can raise your arm and bring your chest over, your choice, or you can just bring your chest toward the thigh. And then walk your hands back over. And heel toe your feet back together, so you come into a feet together forward bend. Come halfway up, hands on your shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands down to your heart space. Come back to the front edge of your mat. And step your feet hip width apart. Toes point straight forward, then rotate on your right heel so the right toes turn out and take a step back. We're going to come into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Bend your left knee so the left ankle is under the left knee and ankle in line. And then to counteract the tendency of your body to turn toward the right, bring your right hip forward. So you're going to inwardly rotate the back leg. Feel your foundation. Press strongly into both feet. Inhale, brings your arms up to frame your ears. Finger bases are spread. And if you like a different arm configuration in Warrior One, you could do cactus arms, Anjali Mudra. You could have your hands behind your back to get a little more lift. So find a place where you'd like your arms to be. And feel yourself rooting down through both feet, internally rotating the back leg, open chest, a little extension of your back, a little back bend. Close your eyes if you can, have the balance or have a soft gaze. Come back to your breath. And then bring your hands down by your side. Bring your right foot forward. Maybe walk it out a little bit. And we'll try warrior one on the other side. So left toes go out. Step your left foot back. Right knee over right ankle. Square your hips to the front edge of the mat. You can even put your hands on your front hip points here to feel that they're level and parallel to the front edge. Internally rotate your back leg. Another way to access that is to think of drawing your thighs toward each other even though they're not moving. It's an energetic movement. And then inhale, arms up. And let's just see if you can settle in, following your breath, and really settle into this pose. You found the stability through your foundation and alignment, which allows you to let go of any extra effort and find that point of easiness where you feel like you could hold this for a long time. And then bring your hands down, step back toward the front edge of the mat, and do a few rounds of half sun. Movement after stillness. Movement, the water element. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. If you don't care to come up through chair, you can just come up straight up. Your choice. But do move with your breath. Smooth, flowing, being with every point along the way. One more. And after you finished your last one, we'll meet back in mountain pose for a few breaths. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Step back to downward facing dog. And inhale, bring your knees to the mat, bring your legs out to the side, and come over onto your seat. With your feet bent, just hug your knees. You bring your chest to your knees, rest your head on your knees. Feel the stretch up your back. yourself down, hands out in front, fingers spread, lower yourself down one vertebra at a time. Come all the way up, down onto your back. And we're going to take a twist on each side that we're going to hold for about a minute on each side. But first, before we do that, take a, no, we'll do the twist. We'll do the twist first, sorry. So bring your arms out to the side, shoulder height, palms face up. And there are lots of ways you can do a twist. You can have your one leg straight, the other bent and twist it over. You can eventually have both legs straight and twist it over. You can have both knees together over to the side. Feet on or off the floor, both knees together. So you choose which twist you want. You can do a figure 4 leg configuration and then twist with one ankle over one knee. You can twist to both sides on that one. So you decide what feels best for you for your twist today. And when you get into your twist, support whatever needs to be supported. If you need a hand on a leg to help hold it down, you don't want to ever force anything down. The goal in the twist is to be able to keep your slow, deep, even breath and release whatever tension anywhere you have on the exhale. So once you get there, inhale, breathe right into the area where you feel the greatest sensation. It should be a good stretch feeling. If it's painful, that's just, or you can't maintain it with, calmness and steady, even breathing, then that's your sign to modify, back off a little bit. So we're going to hold this for a minute and make the most out of that minute. So keep your awareness inside. You can send your inhale to the point of greatest sensation, and then exhale, consciously see where you can find a softening. See where you can feel a little release, maybe a lot of release. It's a great feeling. Just telling your muscles, it's okay, you're supported here. You don't have to tense up. Your breathing tells your body that. Okay, that was a minute. So come out of that twist, kind of recenter yourself, and then take a twist on the other side. I'll give you a little time to get set up. It doesn't have to be the same twist that you had the first time. Your sides are different, so give your body what it needs. And we'll do a minute on this side.
twist on that side. And bring both your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Take any last movement here before we move into Shavasana. Anything your body is calling for. So that might be a happy baby. It might be legs up with a block under your pelvis. An inversion. It might be bridge wave. Anything from your knowledge of the different poses that that your body is calling for. It could be a more restorative pose, or it could be a more active pose. Whatever you need, just for about 3 minutes. And I'll give you a warning, not a warning, but I'll let you know when it's, when there's about a minute to go before Shavasana. If you want to go into Shavasana right this second, then just do it. We haven't done a lot of different poses today. That's why I want to give you some time to do what you want to do. So as you practice listening to your body, it will get easier to know what your body's asking for. So finish up what you're doing in the next minute, and if you're not already there, after that, make your way into Shavasana. So for Shavasana, make sure that you're cozy, warm, comfortable, in some sort of a symmetrical configuration, and in a place that is going to require minimal effort, really no effort, because your body can breathe itself. So feel totally supported by your foundation, by the earth, by the mat, totally supported. And the element that's most expressed in Shavasana is it's the lack of effort, so it's the space quality, that inner awareness. So eyes are closed if that's comfortable for you, and your awareness is inside, paying attention to no particular thing, not attached to anything. It's just an awareness of everything that's in the moment, in a posture that is where you're supported and safe and comfortable, not distracted. And if you would like to try bringing your awareness to your third eye, the space between your gaze, excuse me, to your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, which represents your intuition, your true self, sort of. You can try that, or just be in the moment, breath to breath. This gives your brain a chance to integrate all the movements you've taken during practice, kind of locks in the benefits of the positive things of your practice. And then gently bring your awareness back to the space. Our ending's going to be a little different today than what we usually do. I think it's good to get out of the rut a little bit. I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over, and there's no need of that. So bring both knees into your chest. So hug your knees in, take a little rock, cross your ankles, and roll yourself up to sitting. Then come around onto hands and knees. Into downward dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet. And come on up to standing. Back to mountain pose. With your hands in Anjali Mudra at your heart space.
back to how we started. Both a little different from the way we usually do it. And bow lightly, gently toward your Anjali Mudra hands. And reconnect with your breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice energy level as we did at the beginning of class. Notice if your mind is busy or calm or somewhere in between. Notice how you feel emotionally. Revisit your intention. And then give yourself thanks and gratitude for taking this time for yourself. I thank you for coming to yoga practice and for seeing how the natural elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space are reflected in your yoga practice. How we're so connected to nature. The elements in nature are elements in ourselves as well. And I hope you take away from the practice what you hope to. The light in me bows to and honors the very same light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks for coming, and I will see you here again next week. Bye.